This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So what did we do last time? We did something called as a data page, right? You guys can hear me, see my screen, all fine?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, Babu. So how is it in California? How is it in Bay Area? Very cold nowadays?
Bay Area, it's just started actually after the forest fire. It was raining very badly
Ah,
today.
that forest fire, na?
Yeah.
I heard many celebrities lost their house and all something.
Yeah, it's approximate around 15 to 20 billion dollar assets have gone for a toss.
My God. And we blame our India for forest fires, na? We say that it was somebody threw cigarette butt and the forest got fire or whatever.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, okay, no problem. So let's start. Even in Bangalore, it's very cold since yesterday. I don't know about Chennai and all, but I heard in Chennai it's raining or something. Anyways, okay. So let's do some part of yeah. Let's do what's a data page. Okay, let's create a data page. So what we'll do is to just start with a simple example. We'll create. We'll see our let's see our user interface. So we have this info customer information screen. So why do the celebrities go and make it the forest house? I'm just joking. Okay. Okay. So you see the state drop down, straight drop down. Okay. So let's see. So this state drop down, I guess I put it hard coded, right? Now we are going to make it dynamic. Okay. So we'll go here. We'll data model property. Okay. This is the state drop down. Okay. Now you see, I put like a dynamic. So I will, make it dynamic. I'll remove all this. What's first? What I'll do? First, I'll go here and say I'll say none. Okay. Then I'll save this. Yeah. First, I have to do a save as because I've already what do you call locked 010101, right? I know this prompt doesn't come in 7.2, but that's okay. We'll create it. That's fine. We are actually not creating duplicate. We are actually, this is a this is 00102 and we are just changing this. I mean, yeah, we are changing just a drop down. So that's what actually PEGA does. You know how PEGA works, right? As I told you, in that inheritance, it'll go up, 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 and check. The more it goes up, the more performance issues will have. The more it does duplicates, the more performance issues. But there's not a duplicate. You have it a different version. So this version should be picked up. This for this rule. Generally, for these rules, you'll not have for these drop downs and all. We will not create so many versions as such. But for our case study, I'm just trying to show you different levels. In this level, we showed how to create a what do you call the hard coded values. Here I'm showing how to create a dynamic value. So we'll save this, check it. Okay, so what we'll do is we are going to drop there are no values in this drop down. I'm going to populate this using a data page. Okay, simplest example so that you guys understand how it works. Okay, so first what I need is a report definition. Okay, data page, as I said, right? A data page is a blank page. It doesn't have anything. Suppose I create a data page, it's a blank. Nothing is there. You need to put some information there. So you can put information through two different ways. One is using a report definition, or one is using clipboard. So all this data which comes into the clipboard. Suppose you're browsing some information that comes in the clipboard, right? So we'll talk about something called as code PEGA list. So, code PEGA list is a class, and inside the code, code PEGA list, so I'll just tell you what is it. So suppose you are trying to populate. So suppose this is your database. Okay. So database holds no information, right? The database is here. So data page is a blank page, and it will not hit. It will hit once the database. What is the difference between user page and data page? To just recap, user page is a page which is defined in clip by us. I mean the person, the developer, and the user page is you'll find the user page name on the clipboard, and the user page will store information of whatever data you define to. If I refer to the user page to customers table, then it will hold the data for the customers table. Initially, it will just a reference. You need to put the data. Again, this page will be created as a reference. Then you need to put the data of customers, then it holds the data. But the scope is very limited. Okay, the scope is limited to the only the work object. Here, the scope is more complex. It is related to work object. It's related to requester, the session, right? We said three states. One is thread, one is session. Session was requester. In PEGA, they call us requester, and one is global, and it's called as a node. Okay. So these are three states which maintain. Again, as data page, it will hit the database once and then give you information throughout your scope, whatever defined as scope. And it has a refresh strategy. What it has is a refresh strategy. And once you go to the refresh, you can define the refresh strategy when you want to flush the information and refresh the information back on the database, right? So so you need to put the data. So the best way to put the data, which we can do, is use a report definition. We'll call a report. We'll create a report definition, pull the data from a data table, and feed it here. So once you create a database, you need to define what report definition needs to go here. Okay. Once that is done, your database is ready to be used. Okay. Um, so the data you can put it through clipboard also. So there is in clipboard there is something called as, so whenever you fetch an information into your application, there is a class called as code PEGA list. So what is this class? This class is holds the information of whatever you browse from this. The code PEGA list is again a class. This class you can point to anything. Suppose you're calling for you're calling customer data, so you can point this code PEGA list to what do you call Tesla data customer. So this, you can point this code PEGA list to here, and this PX results, the code PEGA list is a method called as PX results, property called as PX results. This holds all the, this is kind of a list property, page list property. So PX results 1. So I'll show you when we browse this. Okay, PX results 1, PX results 2, PX results 3, PX results 4. So this, whenever you browse the data from this, you will see this records coming here. These are the records. So it's very important that you remember this. I'll show you this when we see this. Okay. So PX results 1, PX results 2, PX results 3 are properties inside this class code PEGA list. So you can refer this whenever you do a browse from the database. This you can say that code PEGA list would handle this table, and then the results which come, we will show it like this. Okay, so we'll do code PEGA list through an activity in a separate example, and there is also something called as PX. So we'll do this in detail. So what is PX results count? The number of records which are returned. If there are 0, if the count is 0, then there is no records which was retrieved in the clipboard. Remember, this is part of a clipboard. Okay. So you can also, why I told this is, you can also get this information down to a data page and populate it. You can also do a report definition. But let's do a report definition now. We'll create an activity for this, and I'll explain you how this works. But right now we are focused is on database. Okay. So what we'll do, so let's see. So I'll create one data type. I'll always try to put in my regular structure. Tesla data use states. My database should be always like, I mean, I prefer like this. You can go and put in the application also. Okay, now here I create, so you can actually import. Suppose you have, do you have any table of US states? This is good, right? So we can use this. Why do we have this one? We don't need this column, no? Babu, we can remove this column, right? Second column, or the first column. I think it's the same thing in capital and small case.
Yep.
But we need to have an ID, okay? So what we'll do is, this abbreviation, US state abbreviation, US state ID. State. So this could be ID, right? We can use this also as an ID. That's fine. We'll just put one ID here. I would use. So, let's start. Okay, so this none. So see, when we were creating a table, remember I was telling you a few things. One is the class table mapping. One is a table name, right? You guys know that as soon as we create a table, it is PR underscore the class name, right? Second is a mapping. What is a mapping? What the mapping is what? Whenever you create a table, it is always also creating a class. Similarly, when you create a class, it also creates a table. So table and class mapping is something very common in So I mean, table and class mapping is in normals. I mean, it has to be it has to happen in PEGA, and this is the mapping rule which defines it. If you click this, it will show you the mapping rule, which I showed you last time, right? Then there are three other things. The important point which I want to show you now is these three things. Now you have report definition. It also creates a report definition. You can open this report definition, and for this report definition, you can leverage this report definition to browse. See, it is all created everything which is actually required for you. So you can use this report definition to leverage it. Okay. Then it has, now there are three databases creating single instance database. Now what is single instance and what is list? Okay, single instance database means this, suppose I use this database, I can use this database to retrieve one record of information. If I use this database, then it will retrieve a list of information, like a, now this will one record, this multiple records. Okay, now they have in 7.4 they have introduced the savable data page. Okay, so I need to say this for a savable database. In 7.2, you won't find the savable database. Okay, in 7.2, you had only two modes. One was read only, one was editable. So what is read only? Suppose you create a database, but I mean the main purpose of the database is to serve you information from the server. So, but sometimes, suppose you're talking about employee onboarding process, and in that employee onboarding process, your database is holding all the information of the employee. For example, it's holding your PF number, your employee code, you're holding your contractual type or your employment, full-time, part-time, all the information when you're trying to onboard an employee. And if you store that in a database, it will be useful across the board, right? Across the requester session or node session, because that information, that employee is onboarding and there are various people trying to onboard that person. So if you put that information in a database, it is good that it's not going to hit the database again and again. So I'm not talking about one employee, I'm talking about bunch of employees which happen to join in that season or whatever. So if you make it read only, then people are just browsing and fetching the information. If you make it editable, then any person who has access to this database can go and change the information of the database and get saved. Okay. If you make it savable, so this option, I'll tell you what is it, because in 7.2 we had only these two. This option I'll do some research and I'll tell you. Okay, so that is what's the, so in 7.2 if you see, it will only create these three. This is something that's extra which I'll tell you uh, when I find out. For that it should be like, maybe it is, let me see, I don't want to comment anything now unless I'll read that and tell you. So let's close this. So we'll import. That's okay. So add update CSV. So in 7.2 also, all this kind of wizard is not available. It will just directly update without any comments, nothing. So there's all these things which you see now. It is new in 7.4 and it's very good because it actually maps the source and the target. So you know that your information is not going in the wrong place. Okay, so we got our information here. Okay, that day who was asking me that how do you do it, this auto increment? Somebody was asking me, right? Was it Samir?
No, I didn't ask that question.
Yeah, what's Shrikant or Sudhakar, maybe somebody.
Sure.
Yeah. So if you go to, I was checking that one. Suppose you go to definition. You see this? You can select this. It will automatically generate. Sudhakar, Shrikant, who's asking? You guys are there or are sleeping? Yeah, Shrikant, you got the option. This is the option here. You have to go to the definition of the table. Got it? Anyway, you guys have to fix your mic, guys. Otherwise, you know how will I understand? Anyway, so we are done with the US states. We did all the data export. Okay. So now what we'll do is so either I can use what is C. I can use these report definitions where the system has already created data. I can use this, same data page which is already created by the system. I can use the same tables which are already created, so I don't have to duplicate everything. But what I will do is I'll create, I'll create one and show you. What is this? Yeah, report. That's fine. So though the system creates everything, we'll just create our own and I will show everything. So we'll go here. We'll go and create our. So what we'll do? First, we'll create a report definition. See what I was telling you. We need a database, of course, but for database to hold information, we need a report definition that will only feed information here. So first, let's create a report definition. So we'll have to create a report definition. So when you create this report definition, you have to make sure that you point to the right class, because we are though I started from the work layer, you need to understand that we need to get US states information, right? If you don't do this, you won't get it. So I'm just going to put 3 columns for me, which is US, which was at US state ID, add column, US state name, US state abbreviation. Okay, now we are going to have, so did you guys work on this report definition? Did anybody of you do try to do some practice on this? Guys, you are practicing, right? Or is that just I'm doing? And at the end of, see, what will happen is we are almost, how many sessions I my mark actually every day. I mean, I think we are nearing 13 to 14 sessions now. Guys, are you doing all this? Can somebody answer me? Yeah, so this report definition has many features. Okay, so what you need to do is see, if you go down here, there are conditions, right? If you can put and condition or condition, like like you are querying a database. Suppose you say user USID equal to Alabama and USID equal to something, then it will give you both the records. So there are add conditions, off condition, or conditions you play around here. There are something called as report viewer. I'll show you. So maybe I'll take a class for this, but this is very simple. There's no rocket science here. There is something called as data access here, and there are class joins. What are class joins? Suppose you have two tables, more than two tables, right? So whatever we did till now is, we were playing around with one single table, right? Suppose you have two tables and you want to make a join. Now you have an employee table and you have a salary table. Simple Oracle chapter when we learned. We have employee table Oracle and salary table. You want to make a join of this table and get the information here. So this supports three different joins. Okay, one is inner join, outer join, and a normal join. Okay, so this are kind of getting data from multiple tables and putting it inside. Then you have something called as index. You guys know what's an index, right? You can create indexes in PEGA also. So indexes makes it. So it will create, suppose you have an employee table, that, or suppose you have what I call uh, uh, any complex table that you can think of. Why do we need index? We do index so that the search is faster. So suppose you have 10,000 claims in the system, and the 10,000 claims in the system is stored in one database. So retrieving that information becomes very difficult because the database has to do a lot of, when you go do a query, it has to do a lot of calculation. So you create an index. Similarly, PEGA will create an index for you. So when you want to query something, rather than hitting the table, you hit the index. You query with the index ID. It becomes faster. Associations are nothing but suppose in class join you have two tables, and when I say two tables, you understand, right? Two data types. When I have two tables, and you are between an employee and a salary table, you are trying to query, which is saying employee ID from employee table should be equal to employee ID from salary table. So there's an association. So if this association is used at multiple places, you can create one association and you can reuse this. So nothing, I have not seen much people using this, but that is what are sub reports. Sub reports are also very good. So for example, you have a big report and you are fetching all the employee of the information of the employee in one shot. You get all the information of the employee. Okay, and in one of the column, there is, suppose in one of the column you have the PF number. Okay, and you need a sub report of the PF details. So you click on an employee, then it gives you a sub report of that. Okay, this is also very good. So see, there are many things here you guys need to explore. See, we will not be able to, suppose in this 30 hours, we will not be able to cover everything, which I'll try to cover as much as possible, and also give you exercises to do it. Let's make sure that do it. So what is report viewer? I'll show you what is report viewer. You can actually tag this report to a manager, and the manager can see this. I'll show you. When I create the simple report, I'll show you how to do that. You can create for some complex reports and do it. So many things are there, even charts are there. You can actually this is pointing to Tesla data US states, right? Try to create like Tesla data claims or insurance, and try to get some data from the internet and upload it, which has numbers. So when it has numbers, you can create charts of various types where you can have the aggregate function, and all those kind of things. So this is quite very good report definition, especially if you are into customer interaction, business analyst role. This report definition is very quite vast in terms of, and it's very easy. There's nothing which you're doing different. Um, so this report definition is good in terms of presenting to the customer. You can create one report and put in the dashboard. Okay, so all those kind of things you can do. Okay, so try to please play around. Not that whatever I showing you is that's enough. You have many things to play around here. Okay, and once you play around, you get stuck somewhere, you ask me. So this report definition, maybe if you guys are not able to do, I'll take one class especially for this, where I'll show so we are anyway going to do this class joins. Okay, maybe in a little, this will come probably in the 15th or 16th class, where we'll talk about index joins. So we have to first do something called as declarative rules. Once I do the declarative rules, I'll cover these two. Okay, but this charts and all you can play around. Try to put some big data. When I say big data, try to put some data which has a lot of numbers and calculated values, and then create a report definition. Then you will see how beautifully the chart comes. Okay. And if you guys are not able to do it, just give me a call. Then I'll take a special session for this. Okay, so let's save this. So we got these three things. So we got the report definition. Now what does this do? This report definition will fetch these three information, right? Now I need to feed it to my data page. So where does data page go? Here's the data page. Okay, so I think data page also I have to, let's see. So this is, so in data page you would understand that data page before version 7 it used to call as declare. It always used to be prefixed with declare hyphen. Now if you see here, all the database will be prefixed with d hyphen. That's how they have designed it. So whenever you try to search a database, there are n number of data pages which is defined by the system. If you try to search for a database, make sure that you give a proper name, because while searching you also will get lost. So what I'll do is, after d hyphen, I'll create a Tesla, so that I know it's for my application, and I will put so I need to check whether we can take it. I think this should be okay. If it doesn't work, I'll change the layer. I suppose we can browse, because see, I created this where I created the data layer, right? Now I'm trying to fetch from the work layer. If this doesn't work, I'll put in the data layer. So this is the database. Okay, so there are different just a minute, 1 second.
Shiva, you're there?
Okay, sorry guys. Okay, so this is how the database looks like. Okay, so first thing is whether you want a page or a list. Okay, I want a list. What is a page? A single record, but I want it because I'm trying to browse the list of states. So I want a full list of states. So when I say list, it gives you access pages using user defined keys. So there's some one concept called as keyed access page. When you click this, it will ask you, which key you want. So it's like a primary key. So I will say, so that is not there here. I want. One second. So probably when we create a page, it will come. Yeah, we need a page. Okay, let's leave this for now. This is not compulsory. For now, I'll remove this because we need a page. I'll show you how that works. Okay, so object type. So here I need to change it because this is coming from my uh, table. Okay. So read only, as I said, two modes: read only, editable. Read only means nobody will change it. Editable means on the runtime somebody can change it. Scope. So I'll tell you about what is savable later on. Scope. See, this is a scope which I was talking about. Thread, requester, node. So when there's thread, it is for the same work object. When it's requester, it is for the session. When it's node, it is for the what do you call, for the session learn. Now data sources. What are data sources? As I said, a data page is holding nothing. It's just a page. Now you need to give a source information. So there are various source information. You can connect through a REST, do this data transform, report definition activity. There's something which they have introduced in 7.4 robotic automation. So but I'll say for now, in our case, it's report definition. So give a system this name, like you can give any name. See, if you don't give name, it will give some warnings here. Have you seen warnings coming here? It will give some warnings there. We'll we'll talk about warnings when we do guardrails, which is kind of end of our 30th class. So here, what was our database? Tesla. Oh, sorry. This is the report definition. So it is get US states. Data transfer. You don't have to worry now because we're not learned yet data transfer. Okay. So this is one configuration. Response data transform is mandatory. What is that? We never had this in 7.2. Wait, I'll create some data transform. So in data transform, don't worry much about data transform now. We have a chapter later. Data transform is basically, manipulating the data at runtime. So I just created one. This is not required in 7.2. I did not do anything. I just, created one and left it because right now we don't want to do anything in data transform. We are trying to copy any data here and there. If that doesn't work, I will try to see what is the issue. But as of now, I just created one sample data transform and then I kept it over there. So I saved this. So basically, it's my data source. So basically, what I'm saying is this is my data page and this is my report definition, fetching the information. So you could use existing. See, when I created this table, you can also put that existing which one I created. But right now, I'm just trying to show you how to create by our own so that you understand what parameters are involved. Okay, so load management. So if you see, there is a refresh strategy. Reload once per interaction. What is reload once per interaction? Whenever you interact, it will become like a clipboard page only. Whenever you interact, it will reload. It will reload, get from the database. Okay, that is whenever you create a new work object. This will start. Do not reload when. So you can create a when rule saying that So the when rule could be anything. Suppose you're talking about employee onboarding, okay, and you created when rule saying that new customer added, if that is a when rule, and whenever your new customer is getting added, you will set that when rule saying that is new customer added equal to first is equal to false. As soon as new customer is added, you can say it is equal to true, right? Or I'm just giving a weird example. So if that is true, you can put here. So do not reload when customer is false, you can say. Always reload when there is a new customer. You can play around with end rules. Suppose you want to reload this based on your business scenario. So it is giving you a condition. I'm just giving a weird example, but you understand what I'm trying to talk about. This is about a when rule. So you can a system define when you define a when rule. It is a system defined when rule, and in that system defined when rule, you can reload this data page based on a condition also. And there is one more option saying reload older than. You can define one. You can define one threshold and saying that every 30 days reload for me. So this is the what is this? This is the refresh strategy. When I say clear data page, it will just clear from the system and give you a fresh page. Got it, guys? So this is a refresh strategy. Okay. And one thing you have to notice, suppose you go to a node level, it will ask you for authentication. Okay, now suppose you create a thread. Now what we have to remember here is suppose you create a data page using thread. Okay, you save this. After some time you come back and then you change it to node. Okay, sometimes this may not work. It'll throw you error. Okay, so if suppose you want to create a database of its level node, make sure that you create the level node and save it. Okay, it may be the system is not able to understand because once it creates a thread level, it must be registering on the server. It must be registering this database on the server. Then later on when you try to change it to node, sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, so make sure that when you create, you know what you're creating. And once you create, suppose you create this thread, You want to change it to node, make sure to create a new database and make it as a node. Sometimes it may not work, and then you'll come back and tell, it is not functioning. So suppose I'm not saving this. Suppose I go and say node, you will see that here you will see an access group. Why is that required? Samir, can you tell me why this is required? Why it is asking for an access group? See, when I go here and I change my to thread, there is no access group. When I go here, when I change it to node, it shows an access group.
Obviously, because a node might have multiple users, right?
Very good.
So apparently there might be certain people who may not have the authorization. So you need to create some access group and have that layered level of security.
Very good. You guys got what he's saying? Babu, Shrikant, Sudhakar. You guys are very quiet. What's happening? Everybody's sleeping.
Are we the only people who are talking, just you and me?
No,
Yeah, that's
Shiva.
what. Yeah. Did you guys get what he's saying?
I did.
Okay. Did I delete my database? Where did my database go? This is what I created, right? See which layer it has gone to. You understood? It's gone to this data customers because I created that. Okay, so the database is created. The database holds the report definition. Now we need to populate the. Yes, somebody give me it. So we need to populate this table. So sorry, I'm munching my short breakfast. Hope I'm not disturbing you guys. Okay, so we'll go here. So where we need to go? We'll go here. We'll go here. We'll go to our customer information section. We'll go to our state. So where do we go this? So here there's a list source. Can you see this list source? So there are three different list source: data page, clipboard, report definition. So I'll populate with the data page. So your homework is to populate with the report definition. It's simple. Report definition, once you select this report definition, it will ask you for the report. You just need to feed the information. Simple as that. Now I'm going upper level with the database. Clipboard page, we'll see. What is the clipboard page? Clipboard page is this one only, which I was talking about. Code PEGA list, PX results. Okay, this we'll see through an exercise. We'll do an activity to cover this. So don't worry about now. Where am I? Okay, so I go here. So right now I'm populating to a database. Okay, so it'll asking me database name. What was that? Remember, I gave you the name Tesla because I'll get lost here. Oh, it is also creating Tesla. Okay, this is what I created. So it'll ask me which, see, this is one field, right? It does ask me which prop value to store. This is property for value. One second. Why is coming like this? Property for value, property for text. Yeah. 1 second, guys. Solve PX. One second. Seems to be some problem. So this is my report definition. That is fine. US states. Get US states. This is my database. List is fine. Read only. Thread scope is fine. Report definition. Get US states RPT. That is fine. Response. Data transform. One second. Just a minute. US states. Data model. See, the problem I think is the data transform. So what it's trying to do, append, comment, when, comment, apply data transform. This is target, this is source. Just a minute, guys. You understand, because this was not there in 7.2. I'm just trying to understand what is these people trying to achieve. Now this is compulsory, you cannot avoid that. So what if I use US states? Let me see if I can use that one. You remember which database it has created? which database, sorry, which was a report definition got created when we got created automatic, right? I showed you the 3 pages it was creating. Yes, I need to check this out. Because see, if I put here report definition, which is our report definition is get US states RPT. So that's fine. I'll just save this. Check out, save. Did I check in properly? Maybe not. Let's see. Check in. Then I go here. What I'm trying to do is. So what I'm trying to do is I'm going to my section here. Then I'm double clicking this and then I'm feeding the data page. Okay, suppose I feed report definition. Let's see. Suppose I feed report definition applies to Tesla auto use states. Then report definition is get. See this coming proper. Get US states. Then I go here. This coming very proper. So I'll put US state. Just applied for value. I'll put US states name property display. That is fine. I'll submit this. Then I will again have to do a save as in menu version. Okay, I'll just check whether whatever I inserted is correct. See, I'm just using a report definition. I'm not going to database right now. So let's see the initial small part works. Okay, submit. I'll just save it. And I need to check in. Now let's see if our screen works properly. I'm just worried about that data transform which came in between. But let's see. So now I'll run my flow. And when I run my flow, I should see my so I'm not going to, you can save the database also, that's fine. We just need to check the drop down. So everything has come. So our report definition works. So the report definition works. Now we need to check what this data page has issues. Okay, where is our sorry. So we'll go here again. Now this report definition, understood, right? This actually I wanted you div data page. Now this data page is actually calling the report definition itself, right? It's not doing anything else. It is, so what is the difference? When you call report definition, is just going and fetching. Whenever you call this report definition, go and fetch the database. Here, it is only going to, sorry, it is only going to fetch first one time. Okay. Now I'm not getting that. That's the problem. You understood? I should. So let me work on this, guys. I'll tell you how to, because it's a problem with source. Okay.
Shiva, I think your voice was breaking a little bit.
It's breaking now. So not anymore.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Yeah. This data transform. So source type and data page, 1 second. The source type and data page object type do not match. Use data is to map the data from the source page onto the from the source, map the data from the source page to the data page. Okay, fine. So let's do that. The source page is your source page to the what is the source page? Report definition. Okay, and database. Okay, let me give a try if you guys don't mind. Okay, set. So source is your data page. Source is and target is the data page. Source is your report definition. Okay, set update page. Your target is data page. Data source, target, and source. I need to check this, guys. What are those data source they're talking about? I need some time to check this. I don't want to waste your time. So basically, what it's trying to say is, I understand what it's trying to say, but I need to spend time on this. It's trying to say that your source is this and your target is this. Your source is this and the data source. Source is this and your target is that, and this is your data source. I don't want to spend waste your time, but so your source comes here, your target comes here, target comes here. So wait, I don't want to waste. Let us see, man. I have to check everything and I'll see. Okay, this I'll tell you how it is done. So you guys understood. So basically, what we're going to do is here we are going to. There are three types. First is whenever you populate a drop down, there are three sources you can populate. One is report definition. Now this database I'll fix and show you. One more is clipboard. Third is clipboard. So how do we in clipboard? So we'll see that tomorrow. That is how to use this code PEGA list, PX results, and all those things. Okay, give me some time to check that, and I'll tell you guys. Okay, sounds good. You guys are there, or only Samir is talking?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So I'll show you how that data page is done. But try to do some research on this report definition if you can. It will be useful for you. This report definition. Okay. Suppose I want to let's say 8.1, but suppose I want to pin. So this is a simple report, right? In the simple report, I want to pin this report to the manager. Okay. So what I can do is I go to the report viewer. There are various options here. So one of the options is display in report browser. So this is for the manager to see whether any report you can create, and in this report you can pin it to the manager. So suppose I say here display in manager. It'll ask you which there are different categories. So suppose you go and here. So I'm going to the manager console. Okay. In this manager console, I have, if I go to reports, I see many categories here. I can pin this to any category I want. So that's what it's asking. Display in report browser, and this is your report browser. When I click to reports, this is your report browser. So what I can do is basically go here, and I can put anywhere. Suppose I put as open cases, or anywhere you can put. And open cases. I'll check out. Save. Check here. So I checked it. So here I'm saying that show me here. So I'll go here. I'll try to refresh this. So in open cases, if you click open cases, you'll see this report which I created, right? I can run this report from here. So the report definition which I created, right? Just running the records on the table. So this report you can manipulate, and now this report definition, you can do a lot of things in terms of creating a chart. Now you don't have any numbers here to create some charts because you need to do aggregation and everything, you know. Otherwise, so this is how you bring a report to a manager's dashboard. So try to do play around with this. I mean, Babu, for you it will be very useful because you're at a very senior, you're at a good manager level, right? So for us, for you to present, you to put these things in the dashboard will be quite useful. Okay, suppose you get guys get stuck somewhere, tell me that.
Sure, Shiva.
Yeah. So let me work on that database and probably I'll come back to you with the fix tomorrow and then we'll continue. Okay, sounds good. Okay, so one last thing before we wind up. Right now we are almost like, we have this 30-hour class, right? You guys are there?
Yeah, we are here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Shiva.
we started in 5th November, and we are almost reaching here. Which almost how many classes? 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I think we had one break, right? One class I did not take because I was not well. So 5, 10. By end of this we'll complete like 14 classes. So why don't I? Because how things are done. So I'll be just declaring to mine. I mean, some people are from my sources, some people are from Mind Magics. So my target is like 30 hours means 5, 10, 15, 20, and then 25, 30. So by mid of December is what I'm targeting. But generally, it goes little beyond because we get into a lot of questions and we'll have some few sessions for it to cover your doubts. But my idea is like before maybe like 17, 18 we should be done. By 14 you guys should be ready for certification. Okay, and in fact by 7, after the 7th of December, you guys should start preparing for certification, and all the dumps are already given you. So after 7th you should prepare for certification for interview questions or whatever you're aiming for, and by 14 we should be done, and we'll have one more session for going through the interview sessions and dumps like that. So I'm just going to tell Mind Magics that we are almost like 40% done because we did like 3 weeks, right? I'm actually nearing 50%, but then that's fine. Maybe I'll send you an email with copying Mind Magics that 40% is done, and then we can take this ahead going forward. So that's my whole target plan as such. Whatever I see how the progress is going on.
Sure, Shiva.
Yeah.
Do we get the certification materials?
Certification materials, I gave you everything, na, Babu, in that drive.
No, I don't think so. I do have, I don't see any certification material per se there, if I'm
Why?
not wrong.
I
I
think
see
you're
only
wrong.
one is on sales was there. If you take a
So
look at
when,
it.
when so when you say certification material, what are
Uh-huh.
you asking? What I gave you is uh, the question dump. Is that what you're asking, or are you asking something
No, no,
else?
no, no, not the dump I'm asking about. There are some, per se, like we do get the CSA PEGA material itself, the PDF, which gives you everything what is covered for that version, right?
You
I
mean the
did
course
see,
course
yeah, the
content?
course, not the content material, certification material, which PEGA itself prepares and provides, right? The PDF. I can show you one from SAP, like SAP has their own course, I mean, it will cover everything for that particular exam where we get the material itself. Because I did get the dump from you. I think I
Mm-hmm.
saw one dump from that,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm looking more on, you know, uh, a certification material from PEGA itself, right? We
Can you
do have a certification material for CSA, CSSA, CLSA, and things like that.
can you show me one sample? I'll bring it out for you.
Sure.
See, what I gave you here is see, if you go to the CSA part 2, okay, CSA, I hope you saw that, right? And there is, where is
I
that?
saw one material for sales, right?
That's the design document. So the sales, which one you see,
Mm-hmm.
the sales one you see is a design document for a reference. So it's yeah, this one, right?
That is
SFA.
right.
Yeah.
SFA
So this
implementation guide.
correct. So
Uh,
if you look at
yeah, go ahead.
so this one is for your reference. So for example, you get a business requirement, and
Mm-hmm.
in the business requirement, they give you what to implement. Okay. So this is a design document which will tell what all things was used in the sales. See, this sales implementation guide is
Mm-hmm.
for a sales automation process, which PEGA sell it as a framework. Okay,
That is
sales
fine. But
automation, correct.
so this is kind of a material, right? I mean, whatever it is there. Do we have something like for a certification material for CSA,
You show
sales
me,
excellence?
yeah. So Babu, just show me a sample. I'll tell pull and give you. I don't
Sure,
know. I'm
sure,
just
sure.
trying to understanding. So this is also very good guide for all of you. I mean, just make everybody aware that, because I did not talk about this in my session. So suppose you want to understand when a requirement comes and how you put a design document, this is exactly how it is. So it tells you what all fields it has used. This is where your senior system architect and a lead system architect works together and then puts up this document. So you can see everything which is being used in terms of data pages to system variables to everything. So it's a very comprehensive document. So if you get time, once try to go through it. It has all screenshots, everything possible available there, and it's a good beginner for you. See, it's dynamic system settings. This we have to do. This is when we do emails and all. So if you get a chance, go through that. It might sound a little early for you, but then see, these are the little all utilities they have used. See, like a straight flow. This is called as a straight flow because there are no manual intervention. It will start, tuck 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 tuck, it will finish. Okay, so try to see this document later on. Maybe it's a little early for you, but it's good reference for you to understand. Here they are playing with harness. There is a chapter with harness. It's a very good document. Babu, just send me that. Uh, I'll see whether I can provide you that. But as far as I see for all the classes which I take, this is what we give in terms of preparing for the dump,
Mm-hmm.
preparing for the exam. Now, if you're looking specifically for PDN, what you're asking, I need to see whether I can provide you or not. I cannot promise you anything now unless I see that. Um, but for preparing for the exam,
Mm-hmm.
the dump which I gave you is far enough. So how this goes, I'll tell you. People who have done courses from me, what they do is
Mm-hmm.
they use the dump. They
Gotcha.
check. There are around 170, 200 questions are there. There are two files I think which I gave you.
Yes,
And
I
once
think
you
that I saw that
yeah,
two files.
yeah,
Yes.
that should give you 70% coverage fully of the how the questions are going to come. What they do next is that they go to the PDN site. You should have an
Mm-hmm.
account on the PDN site, and the PDN site you can do multiple practice. Okay, if you want the link, I can give you there. But if you go to PEGA Academy and then you give multiple practice for the test, at least give 2 3. There's no limit. You can give 2 3 practice.
Mm-hmm.
Once you do 2 3 practice and once you go with the dump which I given you, you are well prepared, and then you can crack the exam. And people have cracked it. Nobody has failed as such till now.
Gotcha.
That's how it works. Okay. Now what you're asking, I need to check because I cannot promise you now whether I have that or not. Okay. That's
Okay, sure.
how that's how it goes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions, Samir? Anybody? Sudhakar, Shrikant.
No.
Okay, guys. Have a good day. We'll talk tomorrow.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Bye.